I gotta admit, I'm pretty nervous about this episode because we're gonna cut 2 huge holes in the roof of my van, and I don't really feel like I'm prepared enough for that, but I don't have a choice. To decide on the placement, I need to first put on the roof box to see where there's enough room for the vents. The first time putting the roof box on the van, and I just discovered it doesn't line up with the rails at all. So I don't really know if I can just drill through the bottom of the roof box, because there's no way of moving the rails because they're bolted in some specific spots. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Looks like there's more than enough room, so let's unbox the fans now and let me talk a bit about the plans. So basically I had 2 options for ventilation. I could get a big skylight / roof vent or some smaller exhaust vents. Since I'm not going to be spending much time in the van during the day, I don't really need more light in there. And since the skylight takes up a lot of space on the roof, I went for 2 Max Air dome fans. They are super efficient, run on 12 volt power, and the cool thing is they even work in the rain. When driving, they are fully closed up and barely visible from the outside. Having 2 of them gives me a bit more airflow, and if needed, I can have one of them blow air out of the van and the other one let air in. Now unfortunately, there are some uneven spots that fall right where the hole has to be, but I've got something prepared for that. So let's see what's in here. Now in ideal worlds, there would never be any leakage. But if there is, I don't want to have the vent sitting in a wooden frame. So let's pull out some tools and make a lot of plastic donuts. So I finished setting up the circle cutting jig for the router, but I don't think there's too much sunlight left. So I decided to finish up the evening with a quick clean of the van roof because that's super filthy. And then I'm gonna be back bright and early tomorrow and hopefully get a lot of progress in. See you tomorrow. I'm back. It's far too early and really cold, but enough whining. We got a lot of stuff to do today, so let's get back to cutting the donuts. That worked pretty well. Now the only problem is I need 10 of those and it's super messy, but oh well. Right when I got done with cleaning everything up, my grandparents brought me some homemade pumpkin apricot cake. That makes for a pretty decent breakfast, I'd say. On another note, just yesterday I picked up the van from a mechanic, and I'm not gonna go into any detail in this episode, but in the next one I'm gonna talk about everything they did. And there's one job left for me to do, which is replace the brake pads and brake discs. So if you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe if you aren't already. I guess it's gonna be quite an entertaining episode because I have no mechanic experience whatsoever. So yeah, YouTube tutorials will have to do. Now back to the vent installation, where we have to scissor up 4 of those rings to create the depth needed and modify them just a bit to adjust for the uneven sheet metal. Now on to my most feared part, figuring out where exactly to put the vents and marking the holes to cut. Time for lunch. I got everything prepared and the second stack of donuts glued up. So after lunch, I'm finally ready to throw on the jigsaw and get the hole cut out. Now that was super sketchy. I really hope the second one is easier. I kind of messed up with the jigsaw and I broke 2 blades. Now on to the second vent. It's already 2 p.m, which means about 4 hours of sunlight left, so we better hurry up a bit. I already vacuumed the roof, but I guess those metal splinters went everywhere, and to protect the van from rust, I'm just gonna blow everything off and then paint the edges. I always tend to be overestimating how long the days are. I'm gonna finish up the day with gluing in those rings, and then tomorrow it's gonna be day 3 of the install. Also, I think my dad said there's a ton of wood he brought home, so I might get the wood splitter going and make some firewood. My van's all frosted up, so not the best conditions to glue up any more of the vent insulation. I pulled it into the garage, and we should provide some pretty decent conditions with the space heater. Well, I guess I gotta go to the hardware store again and buy more clamps because 4 just isn't enough. And I really don't have time and patience to wait for it to dry before doing the second vent. Also, the provided screws are super short and they won't reach through the stack of plastic donuts, so I gotta get some screws as well. Now that was interesting. I wanted to get smaller ones, but those were half the price of the ones half the size, so that's a no-brainer. And I got the screws and also some brake cleaner for next episode. It's 4 hours later, which means it's finally time to put in the vents. The van spent the last couple of days in the warm garage, so the Sikaflex could cure properly. Now we still need to finish everything up with a coat of sealant, but before that, I actually didn't even try out if the fans work before installing. So let's quickly do that and then finish up the vent installation. Thanks a ton for watching, I'm super happy with the results and I'm gonna see you in 2 weeks.